Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us for ICONversations. Today, we have 5 of our amazing icons here to bring you a freight train of knowledge. On the panel today, from Virginia, we have Laura Rowe. From Maryland, we have Gregory Cullison. From Alberta, we have Christine Keatley. From Washington, we have Chris Gurney. And from Ontario, our moderator is Vinod Bansal. Vinod, it's your moment to shine, man.
All righty, thank you very much. And first of all, I would like to thank you, each one of you, and joining this Friday Icon Conversations. And we are going to share our experiences. And if you have anything to say, please let us know. And we'll start with the introduction. So we'll start from Virginia.
Hi, thank you. Hey, this is Laura Rowe. I'm actually out of Virginia Beach, Virginia. It's basically called the Hampton Roads area. Been an agent here about 24 years. Been with EXP almost 4 years. I'm 3 Icon and about to flip to my 4th. So I'm excited about that. I do not have a team. I ran a team for about 24 years and I'm actually now a solo agent for the last year. And yeah, I do a lot here. I'm also one of the luxury agents. So yeah, thank you.
All right. And let's go to Maryland.
Yes, my name's Greg Cullison. I'm sitting here in Bel Air, Maryland at our EXP branch office for our team CMD Home Group. I've been in real estate in some form or capacity or another since 1994, doing new homes as well as general resale brokerage. I've been with EXP going on 5 years. Yeah, and multiple Icon agent, 2-time Icon. Should be 3rd this year.
Awesome. That's great. And let's hear from Christine from Alberta.
Good morning. My name's Christine. I've been in real estate for about 5.5 years. I've been with EXP for 2.5 years and have been an Icon agent the last 2 years and hopefully for this 3rd year.
Awesome. That's great. And our friend Chris.
Sorry, the audio cut out a little bit. Can you say that again?
Oh, no problems. No. Just introduce yourself, Chris.
Yes, my name's Chris Gurney with the Chris Gurney team, EXP in Seattle, Washington. I've been a realtor for 20 years. Prior to joining EXP, I owned a brokerage called All Pro Real Estate for 11 years.
Awesome. That's great. That's great. All righty. So I'm excited, guys. Thank you very much for introducing yourself. So my name is Vinod Bansal and I'm from Ontario, Canada, based out of Toronto. And this is my 12th year in the business. And with EXP, this is my 4th year. So I've been Icon, 3 times and excited for my 4th one. And yeah, that's about me. So let's get started. So we'll make it very casual. I mean, we'll discuss how we have achieved these milestones in our lives. What are the basic, qualities or day schedules or routines, so our audience can get some sort of benefit out of it. So we'll start from Laura. So, to what do you attribute your success to as an Icon agent with EXP Reality? So, if you can share some sort of, your success mantras with our audience.
Sure. Great. Hey, so yeah, so so what I do is a lot of my business has been coming from doing client events and neighborhood farming. I've been doing this for so long that I decided in the last 3 years to really zone in onto what actually makes me successful. And besides now that the team is gone, but I do a lot. So I'll just tap on this really quickly, but every 3 times a year, I do client events. I do, it was funny because we were just throwing the idea around, like, I'm just going to throw it out to my clients who wants to come for St. Patrick's Day. And it was literally St. Patrick's Day. And we didn't expect, maybe 20 people. And then, 50 people later, I'm like, oh my God, people didn't have anything to do on St. Patrick's Day. So it became this big deal. So my husband cooks all the food now, does all Irish food. We have Irish beers. We probably have between 50 and 60 people attend that in March. And then every summer I sponsor a baseball game. And so I usually rent out either the picnic area or the brewery, and usually have about 140 people. And then at the end of the year, October, I have a Oktoberfest at my house. I turn my whole backyard into a beer garden, and it's a blast. When I say it's just crazy times, but it's so much fun. And what's really interesting is that some people actually come to St. Patrick's party that won't come to the baseball game, or vice versa. Like, so it's not that I'm seeing the exact same people and they're all coming in herds. It's just some people are over here, some people over there. And, I've done about 1,000 homes in my career, a little over 1,000 homes. And I wish I could say I had like 1,000 people show up, but unfortunately, I wasn't that good at keeping up with my clients until literally the last maybe 15 years. So it's just great. And then the other thing I do is neighborhood farming. And I have just had huge success in the last 12 months with neighborhood farming. I'm actually on my third listing in the neighborhood in the last, our transaction in the last 4 weeks. And that's usually, this year I'll be doing probably about 4.5 million just living in my neighborhood. And so that's where I direct a lot of my funds to now, is doing those exact same things. And I would say it's just a huge success. I mean, I do anywhere between, usually averaging right around 15 million a year with or without a team. The team, it's about 20 something, but yeah, so that's what I do to be successful. And it's just really amazingly helped out this year in the last 5 years.
Awesome, Laura. So I have a question here. When you mentioned about your client events, so you mentioned that some people will show up in one and some people will show in the other. But do you pick and choose? Because, for example, you have 1,000 families. So what exactly do you do that, you send those email blasts to everybody, all those people, or how do you kind of invite them?
Sure. So what I do, you guys, and if you're a new agent, really at the very beginning, you really need to have a good database. And, I started using everybody's company databases, and then I would switch companies and lose the database. And so I wasn't really good at that. So I used Brian Buffini's. I only used the database section. And in there, they have a marketing section. And so I rate my clients between A, B, C, and D. And so, there's some people I don't invite, but there's a majority of them I do. But here's what I've learned. I can send out 200-300 invitations, but a lot of people just can't make it. And I'm very specific saying, especially for the baseball game, I'm super specific saying it is a must to RSVP because tickets are limited. As far as my house and doing things at my house, I can hold 200 people out of my yard because I've got a big yard. So I just keep it like that. But, it's not about can they come. It's about the gesture of asking them to come. They'll always remember that. And people will text me like, I'm so sorry, I can't make it. Then you have to take another percentage, maybe 15% of those people don't show up anyway, even though they say they're going to. That's how I do it. I send it to everybody. But I do, if I haven't talked to somebody in years, I don't invite them. I just kind of try to keep the last, like I said, I've been terrible about doing it, but at the end of the day, people can't attend everything. And it's really kind of cool to see how they come out in the woodwork within a year.
Awesome. That's great. So basically you pick and choose and people who you were in contact with. So basically you try to, send them those mailers, and obviously out of those people, like a few will come and few will not show up.
Right. And I don't do mailers. That's interesting. You're asking about that. I actually do text messages because I hate calling people. I'm not that person. Like, you just have to go with the flow. Like, you have to go what works best for you. And what works best for me is having an event. And then a month before, I start texting people. They haven't heard from me in 4 or 5 months, but all of a sudden here I'm texting about a party. And so I usually do text message, and then I do a backup I do have a VIP page on Facebook, and I also have doing it through Brian Buffini's marketing, which I send out a blast email. Those are the 3, how I touch them 3 times.
Awesome. That's great. And what about your neighborhood farming? What kind of things are you doing in your neighborhood farming?
Yeah, I think if anybody has a minute, you could go back to the EXP training. I did a training on neighborhood farming about a couple of years ago, and I've really just exploded since then. I do so much from putting, I have a dog, and I put a dog, I do trash can, I do free treats, I do water outside of my house is one thing. Everybody knows I'm Roman's mom, which is my dog's name. I have a second dog. Second thing I do is I do the postcards. That has worked really well for me, and I'm very strategic on the postcards, how I do them. It just really rolled off of just doing one event. And I have an electric bike. I ride around a neighborhood. I'm always in my car has my license says I'm a realtor. I have specific signs. So once I sell a house in the neighborhood, I have a specific sign I put out in the neighborhood that, I'm your neighbor. I do a lot. They have a neighborhood newsletter that I advertise in. And at the very beginning, when I advertised in this newsletter, only everybody was doing these little business card sizes, and I just went with a bang. I just did a whole page, and then all of a sudden, other agents started doing pages too. So everybody started like kind of following what I was doing. But it's just getting that one house and then shooting out the postcards. It's just worked tremendously for me. And then I'll say really quick, I do have wine night for the neighbors. That is huge. I have a boat, so I take the neighbors out on a boat. So there's different things that I do to strategically touch base with the neighbors in my neighborhood. And it's just worked out fantastic.
Awesome. That's really, really great. Client events and neighborhood farming. That's amazing. And let's hear it from Gregory. What are your success mantras? How you have become Icon and you're still kind of doing great. So would you like to share something?
Sure. So for me, it's just always staying very even keel with how I approach my day. Someone said something to me a while ago that really stuck with me. I kind of wake up with the mindset every day that I'm unemployed today. What am I going to do to get business? I get up very early. I like to go to the gym, releases stress. I get to work. I'm immediately checking my inbox. I use Follow Up Boss as a CRM system, so everything goes right in there. We're constantly generating leads for myself and for my team through all aspects. We do work our past clients, like Laura said, and I think that's great. Over 60% of our business is repeat referral clients. But we're also investing money in online leads through different sources, also doing Facebook advertising, et cetera, through the help of YLOPO, constantly building a funnel, and then each lead is staged according to their time frame. We try to respond to leads as quickly as possible and then categorize them as hot, warm, or cold, or if you're working with them, actives. And just each day, putting forth the effort. If I'm not on an appointment, I'm doing what I can to get an appointment. Awesome. Approach it that way each day. I don't worry about the price of the home. At the end of the day, that takes care of itself. Treat everybody the same. A sale is a sale. Celebrate every sale. And at the end of the year, it all works. It all adds up.
Awesome. You made it look like it's a very, very simple task to do it. Congratulations. Amazing. You started with mindset and you said that celebrate every small sale or a small victory, which is amazing. I believe it's more or less about your lifestyle. It is about your passion towards your profession. So I believe that is amazing, Gregory. Congratulations, my friend.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Let's hear it from Christine.
Good morning. So I think with my success, just achieving Icon is a lot of my business. So when I first started, and that was about 5.5 years ago, I was doing a lot of lead generation. That started off my business. Lead generation, what I found kind of over the last 2 years has not been overly great in Calgary or Alberta. Even having conversations with other realtors, it's so saturated with Google ads, Facebook ads. I've kind of stepped away from that. More so, I think, because my business right now is, I would say 90% is based on referrals or repeat customers. I do farming. I do send out the postcards. I do send out notepads in select communities as well. I do get referrals through that, that way. I think the big thing for me though is when I'm working with these past clients or referrals, I treat them like family. I don't treat them like a transaction. They are family. I go above and beyond. I always say to my clients, I'm like, I get more excited, when you have a firm sold or, you've purchased a house and the deal is firm, because I'm just excited to see them so happy because this is a new chapter. They're going to go on in their life. And I do think the biggest piece for my success is how I treat my clients. Because like I said, it's very much like family, how I would want to be treated. It doesn't matter if it's for, a real estate transaction, if it's, you're out and you're in a store, customer service. I feel like I really do go above and beyond. I do stay in touch with most of my clients. I have a monthly newsletter that goes out. I do text them every couple months, every 6 months, or give them a phone call. Of course, it's not everyone. There's clients you're closer to and clients that you're not. But that also keeps kind of your name alive to them. So, you give them a phone call and then they're like, oh, well, my neighbor is looking at selling their house, or I have a family member that's looking at selling. I'm going to refer you to them. So I think that's a big part. Like it's just a big part of my business, right? Is the whole keeping in touch, and treating people even better than how I would want to be treated.
Awesome. That's great. You meant to say that back to basics, because in last couple of years, I've seen that all of our realtors, they try to generate leads online, which is not a bad thing. But I believe you said it very right that it's not fully saturated, but it is kind of saturated, for me as well.
Yeah.
But if we are, back to basics, that we are treating people in the way we want to get treated. So that is probably the best thing. And we should understand their needs. And then accordingly, if we are working, so I believe, we can get whatever we want if we can give whatever they want. So I believe that is easier to do it. But that's great, Christine. Keep it up. Thanks a lot for sharing. And let's go to Chris. Chris, if you would like to add something here.
Yeah, sorry, the audio was breaking up. Go ahead and say that again, please.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. So we were just asking that if you have any sort of, advice or any sort of your success mantras or, steps which you have taken to be an icon agent, like what made you successful so far? Yeah.
Yeah, so I think the main thing that I probably did over the years was time block out and break down my day, Monday through Sunday, and it's by the hour. So the time I wake to the time I go to bed, everything that I do is time blocked out. And that would be from prospecting to following up to, setting up showings. It's all time blocked out. So I'm spending my time wisely doing money-making activities every single day.
Awesome. And if you can elaborate, like how is your day looks like? You said that your time block and everything is, you know what time, which hour you're doing what, from prospecting to follow up. If you can let us know your day schedule, your daily routine. Yes, please.
Yes. So I'm a little different these days now. So I run a team of 20 agents.
Okay.
And so, I don't really go out and show houses or go to listing appointments. I train my agents on how to close. So my time is now spent coaching my agents. Every single day we have role play from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. And then after that, I have one-on-ones with agents and my lender partners throughout the week. And I also have a success manager that helps run our lead system. We also generate leads for all of our agents. So, an agent that comes into our office, can easily do 12 to 16 deals their first year, and they could be brand new. But we kind of break down the process for them, right? So we kind of give them the recipe and show them how to do everything. It's just they have to take the time and energy to do it, right? So my job now is to motivate, keep people positive, and when they run into problems or roadblocks, I coach them through it.
Right.
And then I run a team of 7 of ISAs that also set appointments and help the agents and lenders follow up when they get too busy.
Wow, that's great. That's great. So you said that you have 7 ISAs?
Yeah, I run a team of 7.
Awesome. And now if we are touching base that you are kind of generating leads for your team and your agents, and in their first year, you mentioned that they can close 12 to 16. If you would like to share what kind of lead generation activities your team they are doing, like what is the major source of lead generation, if you can share that, would be nice.
Yeah. And I'll break it down from top to bottom. So Zillow is about 30% of our business. And Zillow tracks all of your guys, it tracks KPIs. So per our KPIs, we dropped a little bit. So we're top 2% in the nation on KPIs for Zillow. And we're probably top 3 teams in Washington right now. Right. And our conversion rate with Zillow is 12.85%.
Wow.
So 12+% we close of Zillow. Okay. And then outside of that, we have PPC, pay-per-click ads that we run, Google, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Craigslist, you name it. And so we're about an 8.5% close ratio on PPC ads. Okay. So there's a vast, choice of different lead sources that we close. But there's a certain process that you have to follow up and a mindset that you have to stick to stay tenacious to be able to close a lead. And I think what happens is a lot of people kind of give up or quit, or they get a bad, how do I say this in a positive way? They get a bad mentality or just look at the negatives. Right. And so what we teach and train is to how to look at that negative that happens and pull the positives that have come from it.
Awesome.
Right. So yeah, I mean, it's something that I could talk about for hours, but it's that's pretty much it in a nutshell. I mean, it goes in deeper than that, but if you spend 2-3 hours a day prospecting and 2-3 hours following up and stay consistent, right, and you time block your day every day, and you have proper goals, and if you know what your your KPIs are to hit those goals, you can't lose. The only way you can lose is you look in that mirror, and that's your only competition, and the only reason why you're failing, right, is yourself.
Right. Amazing, Chris. Congratulations on these bigger achievements, and wish you good luck. That's really, really amazing and interesting. So for me, I would say, I just, a couple of things. So I believe in building genuine relationships with my clients and listening to their needs and provide them solutions. So I always say that we are not just salespeople, we are matchmakers, right? Whenever we try to sell something.
We're here.
We're here. Okay, no problem.
I'm here too.
All right, great. All right. So no problems. No, that's fine. So I was just sharing my input in that way, that what we are doing is we have to be basically, as Chris mentioned, that we have to be consistent in our follow-ups. That is the major key to success. A lot of people, they kind of, quit very soon. And we are in that profession where we can find function in our follow-ups, right? And then again, I would say continuously we have to improve our skills through training, learning from feedbacks, and adapting to the market changes, whatever changes are happening. So we should quickly adapt those changes. So from my side, I would like to do all these things everyday basis. So let me ask you quickly that it's a very troublesome for me that how we can systematically manage or track our leads? So we will ask Laura firstly that, like, whatever leads you are generating through your referral network or through
Yep.
online, how manage or track your leads, that this lead came in, and how do you do it basically?
Yeah, so sure, that's a good question. So, one of the big things for me is that I just don't buy leads anymore. I mean, that's kind of what was the crumble of the team, is because I just couldn't. I mean, I've had a team for so long, and I just couldn't manage the leads well because I didn't want to pay the money because I knew that they weren't following up. And honestly, I just had the wrong team members. That's not that I don't love them. I love them. It's just they weren't motivated to do what I do every day. So I will tell you, the biggest thing I'm having a huge success with right now in the last couple of years, actually 3 years, is actually Google. I don't really, I was doing buying the Google ads, and then I stopped doing that. But my Google profile, I have over, I have probably right about 50, I only have 50 Google, what do you call it, reviews, but I've only sold 1,000 houses, right? But those 50 has really kind of elevated me. I get calls all the time, just mostly estates, mostly people out of the state trying to Google a Virginia Beach agent. I did hire someone to set up my, just to make sure my business page looked right, because I don't know what I'm doing half the time. So it cost me about $1,000, and he fixed it and just made it where it should be. And
I believe we lost audio there. Laura, are you still here?
oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, we lost your audio.
That's weird. Okay, where'd you lose? I'm sorry, where'd you lose me at?
Yeah, Google, you paid some.
Oh yeah, Google. I'm so sorry. Yeah. So Google, so Google is a big thing. I actually hired somebody about $1,000 to look over my Google business page. And then once he fixed that, it actually just ran by itself. I did run a few ads, but I think Google lets you put like, hey, if you want to put $500 a week, you can do like $500 a week or whatever it is. For 6 months, I got a ton of leads that way. And then all of a sudden it was like the algorithm stopped, is what I heard from my guy. And I really don't do that much paid ads. But what I do find is that when people are searching for Virginia Beach, I'm popping up. And so I've been getting a lot of estates that way. So I just would encourage anybody that hasn't heard of the Google business page, just get someone to help you set it up right. And then that runs it on its own. So, but I don't spend right now any money with that. I do spend money on the newsletters for my neighborhood. Also, I just wanted to mention something. So I've been in my neighborhood about 5 years. I've only really concentrated on the last 3 years. So what I've been doing also is I take $1,000 and I give scholarships away to the students, to kids in the neighborhood. And I would advertise that in the newsletter. And so I do 2 $500 scholarships. And I live in my neighborhood's probably between like $500,000 to about $1.5 million. So that's the neighborhood I live in. And so I found that a lot of the kids just really got excited. Last year I did 3 scholarships. This year the advertising was a little thrown off. And so what I ended up doing was I ended up looking for some of the kids I gave scholarships to last year, and I gave them another $500 scholarship. So that's what I do also as part of my neighborhood farming. But again, I don't track the leads because I don't do a lot there. But I've been watching a lot on my KV Core for some reason has done really well. And if you go to my website, laurarowe.com, which is LAURAROWE.com, I actually moved away from KV Core and the EXP website because I thought I'm not with a team. I want to go and do something different. Well, that website's generating leads, organic leads for me. And yes, it's $350 a month or whatever it is, but it's generated leads. So I'm able to track the leads on that one as well. I hope I answered the question about the leads.
No, wonderful. That's amazing. As you rightly mentioned, that if somebody doesn't have that Google My Business page, they should be having it, because I have one page, and at least on a yearly basis, I can share it, and I close around 4 to 6 deals out of my Google business page. I have around, I believe, more than 100 reviews. Again, I have sold, 5 to 600 houses in my career so far, but I have 100 reviews. But definitely, if anybody doesn't have a Google page, please have it, which is great.
And you know what, if you don't know what you're doing, just hire someone. And if you need someone, just contact me. I don't know how much he is now, but you just do it one time and it's set up and it just runs like a machine. So you have to do what you're good at. I'm definitely not good at that. So I'm hire out.
Wonderful. If you can do it, get it done. That is amazing. Yes. Right. So that's amazing. All right. Let's hear it from Gregory. So, how do you kind of track or manage your leads? If those leads are coming, or are you paying somebody? Are you still doing any sort of paid campaigns? So if you can share something about that, please.
Yeah, absolutely. We do paid campaigns. So much like Chris, but I think on a little bit smaller scale, we do a lot of lead gen online. We use Zillow. We use Realtor.com. We are Redfin partner agents. We use Ylopo, which does ads on PPC, Facebook, etc. They all automatically synchronize with our CRM system, which is Follow Up Boss. My whole team uses it.
Sorry, what did you mention? Sorry, I missed out on that, Gregory.
All the leads synchronize into our client relationship management tool, which is Follow Up Boss.
All right.
So I can see, the team can see the amount of leads coming in. We can all see who has called them. We preach to call, obviously as soon as possible, it within reason, but that greatly enhances the ability for lead conversion. And we do track on a weekly basis where the production is coming from, what lead source is bringing us the sales, so that we can spend, accordingly. We've noticed most recently that the Realtor.com leads are not our best source. When you look at the spend versus the production, the money should be spent elsewhere. But we track it weekly.
And what is the best source you mentioned? Like most of the leads are coming from?
So our best source for conversion is repeat referral business, much like I've heard, I think, everyone on this panel say. And we do our best to stay in touch with them through client events, email newsletters, touches. We try to call, text. Frankly, we don't do it as much as we should. We got to get better at that. But over 60% of our business year to date has been repeat referral clients.
Awesome. That's great. That's great. And let's ask Christine. Christine, what would you like to say? How you manage or track your leads, or what is the best source of lead generation for you? Christine, can you hear us?
Vinod, Christine had to take off.
Oh, okay.
We still have the rest of the panel here. We have Laura.
Okay, all right. I think Chris is also not there, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, you're here. Okay. All right, Chris. So you mentioned that you have, these all ISAs, and you're doing a lot of lead generation. So how do you manage or track those leads? What kind of CRM you use, or how do you track them, basically?
Yeah, so I have about 140,000 people in my database, and we generate about 1,500 leads per month, and we make about 25,000 calls every month. So the process is all agents must dial and follow up until they get too busy, and then an ISA comes in and helps. And all of my lender partners must dial and prospect and set appointments for my agents while they get appointments as well. And then my ISA team follows behind. They also prospect and follow up to do. We use Commissions Inc. Sync, CINC. Yeah, I've used that for about 15 years. And I have everything broken down by pipeline. So what I mean by that is, you know, there's appointment set, which means an appointment was set. Active client, which means that we've had a good conversation. They're approved. We're sending them homes and we're trying to get them in the car. To in the car, which is approved. We're showing them homes and writing offers. To lender appointment, which means that we've set an appointment for the lender and the lender needs to get a hold of the client. To app committed, which means that the client has committed to doing an app, but the lender wasn't able to pull the app, so they're following up. To doc collection, which means that they've pulled the app and there's a few more docs that they need to collect until they're fully underwritten and approved to purchase. And then the last two would be hatching. And that's if somebody is 90 days or more out to purchase. And we put a month label so we don't forget to make the call, right? And then we have to have detailed notes added in the system every 10 days. So every 10 days, an agent, lender, or ISA must go into the lead and put a detailed updated note on that active client, unless they haven't connected with them. And then we'll know that because there isn't an updated note in the active pipeline. And then if somebody's not interested, we move them to contacted, but we still leave them on the drips that they signed up to. Because we retarget all 140,000 people every month. So I run a retargeting ad that shows our smiling faces with the client and a little pixel. So if they go to another site, it tracks what they do. And if they log back in, we do a quick follow-up call with them. And then we have, like some of you guys, I'm sure, or maybe everybody, we have an AI that's built in too. So if they do an activity or if they log in or if they look at a house 3 times, the AI turns on and tries to engage them. But that's kind of in a nutshell. I mean, we're moving over to Follow-Up Boss as well, just to make it easier because Sync is kind of clunky. There's a lot there. And, you know, us real estate agents, if we are still practicing at a high level, we see something shiny and it takes our attention away from what's important, right? We start doing busy work. So Follow-Up Boss allows you to kind of, you know, in my opinion, allows you to kind of stay on top of things and really drill down to the most important clients to touch. And then for prospecting, we have active pipelines, which is P1, 2, and 3. P1's a brand new lead. P2 is a lead that was generated in the last 2 weeks that needs a call. P3 is somebody that's logged into the system in the last 90 days. And it tracks that in my CRM. So we're calling the P filters every single day because those are our most active clients.
Right. Amazing. That's great. All right, guys. I would like to thank you, each one of you. You guys have shared a lot of information, and I myself have made a lot of notes, and I believe our audience must have done the same. And we want to continue, but I believe we don't have much time. But I would appreciate again, Laura, Gregory, Christine, Chris.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, guys, for coming out and sharing your all successful tips with all of us. And wish you guys good luck and be productive and rock these couple of months which are there in this year, and hope to talk to you soon. Okay. All right, guys.
All right. Thank you so much. Appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you, Vinod. Appreciate it.
I want to thank all of you for being on the panel today. If you are watching this live on YouTube, smash that like button. And I want to leave you with this quote. Take your victories, whatever they may be, cherish them, use them, but don't settle for them. I'll see you next week.